What if a mother finds out that gravity does not work on the child she has given birth to? Is the life of that child a curse or a boon? This is the movie about it. So let's recap this movie. Whose name is The Men Without Gravity? In the beginning of the movie we are shown two ladies, who are mother and daughter. The daughter's name is Natalia, who is pregnant. Her delivery time has come, so her mother takes her to the hospital. But it is already late at night. So there are not many doctors available in the hospital, but there is a nurse who delivers her and Natalia's baby is born. But when she sees the child, she is quite surprised because the child starts flying in the air as soon as it is born. Natalia is also surprised to see this and tells her mother that an angel child has been born in our house. But Natalia's mother is a sensible and experienced lady and she quickly understands that the child is not a normal child. They both immediately leave the hospital and go back home. While the nurse tries to convince them that it is not yet time for them to leave, they do not listen to her and come home. When they get home, Natalia's mother asks her a strange question. She asks, "Do you remember who is the father of this child?" But Natalia cannot remember who is the father of that child. Then his mother tells him that this is not a normal child and we have to keep it a secret. If anyone comes to know about this, then we may have to face many problems. After a few days they name him Oscar, and Oscar was not really a normal child as he was very difficult to handle. When those people used to leave him alone, he used to fly and stick to the ceiling and remained there for a long time. Seeing this, his grandmother makes a lot of beds for him so that the child stays on the ground and also puts a soft bed sheet on the roof so that the child does not get hurt. Because he was also afraid that if he left him outside alone, he would fly into the air and go somewhere in space. And now with time Oscar starts to grow up, but he stays at home. His grandmother does not let him go out. Staying at home, he mostly used to watch Superman cartoons on TV and he himself used to imagine that he is also a superhero. Oscar repeatedly asks his mother, Natalia, why they don't let him go out. But she ignores his words. Oscar keeps looking out the window at many people and also at children like himself who are on their way to school. He used to watch children playing outside and miss the free life very much. He used to think that he would probably be imprisoned here forever. Then one day Oscar gets fed up with the house and tries to go out through the window, but his grandmother sees him and gets very angry. Seeing this incident, his grandmother seals all the windows and makes Oscar understand that he will never leave this house. Nor like those children who go to school and he will study at home. Hearing this, Oscar's mother gets very angry and tells her mother that how long will we keep him in this house, one day he has to go out. Oscar's mother brings him a jacket in which she keeps 2 stones in the pockets so that Oscar cannot fly away in the air. He does not listen to his mother and takes Oscar outside and also tells him that he will not tell his secret to anyone like Superman, otherwise he will never be able to become Superman. One day Oscar goes shopping with his mother and bumps into a little girl there. This girl's name is Agatha. Agatha's whole grocery stuff falls down from her hand, and she shouts a lot at Oscar and gives 2 water bottles to Oscar, and tells him that now this is your punishment, that you will take it with me to my house. Oscar goes with her to her house. But because of the stone in his pocket, he was feeling very heavy, so he threw both those stones out. Now Agatha asks him for the bottle. But Oscar refuses for this. Because he knows that if he gives these water bottles to him, he will fly in the air. But Agatha forcefully takes the bottles from him. As soon as she takes the bottles from Oscar, he flies into the air. That place is very closed from all sides, so Oscar does not fly very high. Agatha is shocked to see him and shouts, calling him Superman. Oscar asks her for help. Hearing this, she goes to her room and brings her a pink-colored bag which is full of stones, and Oscar comes down holding that bag. A deep friendship develops between them. Oscar tells Agatha that you promise that you will keep this secret and will not tell anyone. Agatha promises him that she will not tell this secret to anyone. On the other hand, Oscar's disappearance worries his mother and his grandmother, and they search for him a lot, and she thinks that he might have been blown away in the air because they find the stones that were kept when they helped Oscar lying on the ground. After some time Oscar comes home with the same bag that Agatha had given him and tells his mother about Agatha. His mother asks him whether you have told your secret to him, but he lies to his mother that he did not tell her. Oscar and Agatha keep seeing each other for several days. But one day, Oscar's mother learns that Agatha knows about Oscar's secret. Then later that day, her mother doesn't let her meet Oscar. Agatha visits Oscar several times at his house, but Natalia turns her away at the door. Now their neighbors are suspicious of them and they think that Oscar's mother and his grandmother torture him in the house. That's why they don't let him come out of the house much and they don't even let him go to school. His neighbors inform the police about this. The next day the police come to their house and warn them to send Oscar to school from tomorrow, and they are forced to send Oscar to school. Then Oscar's mother goes to school with him, and there she realizes that Oscar cannot lead a normal life. She takes Oscar home. His mother understands all this and they decide to leave the house. They leave their home and start living in a remote place. Now many years pass and Oscar also becomes young. His mother becomes very old and his maternal grandmother dies. Oscar still has the bag Agatha gave him. He never used to put that bag away from him. But even today he is living his life by staying at home. Oscar's mother and Oscar take care of each other a lot. Oscar is fed up with his life, and is fed up with hiding this secret. Then he thinks that if the world comes to know about him, he will become famous all over the world in no time. Like her idolman, Superman, and many people will even write books on her, but her mother doesn't want such a thing. Her mother feels that if the world comes to know about this secret, she will lose her. Then he is patient for his mother, but then his patience runs out and one day he leaves the house without informing his mother. Then he goes to a magic show where people are shown talents and he goes there to show his talent for the first time. Then the same night that show becomes a hit and his mother also watches that show. Oscar's mother was helpless in this matter. Many people have seen Oscar on TV and he has also become famous. Then the next day a man named David meets him, and in reality that man is a content agent. He tells Oscar that, "I can help you become famous. We will organize huge shows that will make you famous." He then gives Oscar a big house where he can live and also makes him sign a contract. Oscar also wants to be famous. Together they go to a big show and show their performance, and overnight Oscar also becomes a famous personality, and later Oscar is named the Man Without Gravity. They have enjoyed a lot in their work and they have also earned a lot of money. But then one day Oscar realizes this. Whatever he had dreamed of as a child, he could not become Superman. Instead he has become a puppet, which people use for their enjoyment. Sometimes people used to call him in photo shoots and sometimes in some magic show. Slowly he starts disliking all this. However, many books are written on it. Many magazines are published and some such documentary series are also made, in which his grandmother and mother are presented very badly, which Oscar feels very bad. Then there is one last show, in which she is put on the angel costume, which she feels very bad about. He says, "I'm no angel." And he gets angry over there and starts abusing people in the show itself. Then that day he tells his mother that he has decided to leave all this. He tells his agent that this was all my work. I don't want to be famous anymore and I'm not going to do this anymore. His agent explains to him that you can't just leave it like that, but Oscar is fed up with all this. He says, "You go tell the people that the Man Without Gravity is dead or gone somewhere in the air." He then says goodbye to his mother too, as he wants to live a different life, and the next day it is reported on the news that the Man Without Gravity is dead. Oscar's mother now lives alone and many media people used to visit her house to ask about Oscar, but she doesn't tell anything to them, and then many years pass. Then Oscar's mother also dies, but Oscar is still alive. He is living his life with a different lifestyle. He has grown a big beard and is in a wheelchair, so that the world will never know about his secret. He has also changed his name and started working as a receptionist in a hotel. Everyone treats him very nicely, and one day his childhood friend, Agatha, visits him. She recognizes Oscar because of the pink bag that is still with Oscar, which she gave him when he was a child, and because of that bag he is living on the ground, and he is not even married. They both are happy to meet each other, but Agatha is not satisfied with her life. His aim is only to earn money. She frequently visits the same hotel with several men where Oscar works, seeing which Oscar feels very bad. Oscar pours his heart out to Agatha many times, but she has changed a lot and ignores his words. The reason for Agatha's change is that she has lived a life full of sorrows and Oscar had also left her. Then with time they start understanding each other and both get married. Then they start living in the same house where they lived in their childhood. And then the movie ends here. How did you like this movie? Do tell us by commenting. And do subscribe to our channel.